Okay, get yourself onto this lift, just to give yourself a bit of elevation for sitting, and come into a good cross-leg position. So in cross legs, feel that you are sitting evenly. Have a little wiggle about and feel that the seat bones are level, and hold onto the knees. Elevate the heart area upwards, consciously drawing your shoulders down at the same time. Focus on drawing the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's look at something ahead of you that doesn't move, something on the floor preferably, something that doesn't move, just a spot on the floor. Feel the lungs from the bottom to the top, and empty them from the top to the bottom. So we immediately breathe more consciously, and there's an almost immediate effect on your energy. While you're sitting, just observe that you are sitting evenly, that there is even weight on both seat bones. If there isn't, then just adjust. Just adjust until it feels like there is levelness at the seat bones. Sometimes it takes a little bit of sitting to ascertain that levelness. Bring your hands into Namaste. Lengthen consciously from the armpits into the elbows into the heels of the hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top, fill in the lungs evenly. Emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom, emptying them evenly. With an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Lifting the chest up to meet the chin, lifting the chin to the chest, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our practice. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area upwards. Drive in the heart area upwards. So although I talk about the heart area, and obviously the heart is on the left side, or kind of slightly to the left, it's really the centre of the chest, but it's where the heart is, the central area. Lift that up to the ceiling and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Just spend a moment just focusing on breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs. Just enjoying that action of bringing energy into the body. Take a deep inhalation, and then with an exhalation, draw the chin forwards and down to meet the chest, drawing the shoulders away from your ears. Just stay for a couple of breaths. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears so that you stretch out the back of your neck. And then take an inhalation. And with the exhalation, raise your chin up to the ceiling. Feeling the front of the neck really stretching out. Push the chin to the ceiling. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. With an exhalation, bring the chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Again, lengthening the shoulders away from the ears. And with an exhalation, wherever it comes for you, draw the chin back up to the ceiling, stretching out the front of the neck. And then with an exhalation, bring the chin back level, just looking directly forwards. Take a deep inhalation and then draw the right ear over towards the right shoulder, feeling the stretch of the neck. Keep the shoulder away from the ear, but so you're not going to make contact between the shoulder and the ear, but you will feel a stretch along the left side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation. With the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the left. Just stretching out the muscles of the neck, just gently stretching, keeping the heart area lifted, keeping the seat bones level. So adjusting the position of the torso if you've rolled onto that left seat bone. With an exhalation, come back to the center and over to the right again. Take a deep inhalation back to the center and over to the left. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, take a deep inhalation, elevating the heart area to the ceiling, and with the exhalation, turn the whole of the torso over to the right, drawing your abdomen across. Drawing your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders keeping the neck soft. Just look forwards. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Using the out breath to intensify the turn. Feeling how your body responds to the pose. Is there resistance or is there release? Or is there a combination of the two? Observe the resistance, if there is any. Observe other parts of the body where there is freedom. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left, turn to the other side. I seem to be having an internal battle with left and right this morning, so you'll have to excuse me if I get it wrong. I've never been very good at left and right. Turn the abdomen, turn the ribs, turn the shoulders. And then gently come back to the center. Just get a belt if you've got one handy. If you haven't, you can just stretch your legs out without it, but stretch. So walk the thighs off the lift, but stay sitting on the lift. And then get a belt and then throw the belt around your feet. If you haven't got a belt, you can just have your hands at the sides like this, and you can work just upright like that. Have the feet hip width apart, so not full dandasana at this stage. Just push, so have the feet around the ball joint of the foot, so around the top of the foot, just underneath the toe. And hold onto the belt, not like a death grip, but just firmly push the feet into the belt, pull against the belt so that you can elevate the heart area upwards. Draw the knees through, the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Try and get the backs of the knees down onto the floor. Just observe your breath. Filling the lungs evenly, emptying them evenly. Just feeling the calm that comes from just that observation of breath. Are you sitting evenly? Is there even levelness on both sides? Adjust if necessary. And then if you can come forwards, then do. If you've got a bad back, it's probably better to stay at the higher lift if coming forwards aggravates your back. So as you come forwards, I want you to lift from the lowest part of the abdomen up to the body of the abdomen, up to the diaphragm. From the diaphragm up to the collarbone. So from the bottom of the abdomen, lift it away from the legs, up towards the central abdomen, up to the top of the abdomen, up to the diaphragm, up to the collarbone. So a little at a time, come forwards. If you can find your feet and hold onto the soles of the feet. Bring your, you can't see my hands, but if your thumbs are on top of the feet, bring them around so that they're on the same side of the feet as the back as the other fingers. Lift from the root of the abdomen to the body of the abdomen to the top of the abdomen to the diaphragm. Just coming forward gently, just observing how the back responds. Keeping the backs of the knees pressing down to the floor, keeping the fronts of the knees pressing into the backs of the knees. Activating the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. And then gently come back to the center, and then really activate those legs. Tighten the kneecaps, press the fronts of the thighs, into the backs of the thighs. Press the shins down into the floor and then elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. Just breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations. Take both ends of the belt in your left hand, and then with the right hand turn to bring the right hand behind you, and then again draw the abdomen across. Draw the abdomen across the ribs, the shoulders. Dig in the backhand into the floor or into the cushion that you're sitting on. And then come back to the center. Just reset in the middle, lifting from the bottom of the abdomen up to the center, up to the top, up to the diaphragm to the collarbone. Take both ends in the right hand, bring the left hand behind you, keep the legs evenly activated, and turn from the abdomen to the ribs to the shoulders. And then gently come back to the center. And then release. Come off your lift and sit back on your heels. Sit back on your heels, have the big toes together and your knees apart. Press the shin bones consciously into the shin skin. Shin bones into the shin skin so that the thighs activate. Elevate from the bottom of the abdomen to the top. Keep the seat bones in contact with the heels. Lengthening from the bottom of the abdomen to the top, stretching your arms away. Breathing in and out through the nose as still if you can. Keep the head lifted as you stretch the arms away. Push the hands into the floor, stretching them away. And then finally bring the forehead down. Feel how the lower back opens up. So if this is too strong for your back, put a block underneath your head. Put a block between the seat bones and the heels. Come up so that the tension on the back has disappeared. But it can feel nice to broaden and open the back. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under. Have your feet as wide apart as the mat, have your hands as wide apart as the mat, and then come up into dog down. Now the time is to deeply activate the legs. Lift the fronts of the thighs up to the tops of the thighs. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the heels start separating. Tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the knees deeply through to the backs of the knees. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Feeling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying them from the top to the bottom. Observe your internal balance of action. Try and make the balance of action even on both legs, even between the legs and the arms, between both arms, between both legs, between the arms and the spine and the legs. So at this stage we're not
trying to bring the heels down, we're lifting them as high as they'll go so that you can pick up the seat bones. Just feel that you can open up the backs of the thighs. Okay, step your feet forwards. Just come up into a standing position. And then get a couple of blocks for your hands for half uttanasana. Bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Feel that see that the toes are in line with each other in front of you. Bring your hands onto your hips and then feel that your heel touches the outside edge of your mat. Feel that the little toes touch the outside edge of the mat. So it's using your physical intelligence to know where the body is in 3 dimensions. So feel that the heel is on the edge of the mat. The little toes are on the edge of the mat. Then the legs are pretty much set up for the pose, except you need to really firmly tighten the kneecaps. Just spend a moment or two in the pose so far, just observing, are you working those kneecaps evenly? Activate the thigh muscles, lift them up to the top of the leg, and then consciously turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Push the inner knees away from each other and lift the inner knees up towards the groin. Keep the back straight, hinge at the hips, keep the head lifted. As you come forwards and then reach down, find the blocks. So just be on the higher lift at the beginning and then we can go down lower, but just establish yourself in the pose. Feel that those heels are on the edge of the mat, that the little toes are on the edge of the mat, that you're tightening the kneecaps evenly. You're pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees evenly, that you're lifting the front of the thigh from the bottom of the thigh to the body of the thigh to the top of the thigh, and then turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. You can go down lower without losing the extension of the spine. So always keeping the head lifted, extending the lower part of the abdomen away from the legs. If you can go down, then do. But as soon as you start kind of rounding the back or bending your knees to reach the floor, then you've gone too far. Go back to the blocks. Work with consciousness. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If you can reach around the backs of your heels, then do, but not at the expense of dropping the head. Keep the head lifted. Keep the abdomen lengthening from the legs, or from the tops, or from the hips. Okay, and then just bring your hands back to the center point. Bring your hands into your hips and then bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into Tadasana. Just come back up into a standing position. Have the inner edge of the feet together. Lift up into the chest. So big toes touching, but spread and then spread the toes. Tighten the kneecaps. Turn the fronts of the thighs consciously inwards. Tuck the tailbone consciously in. Lengthen from the lowest part of the abdomen to the body, to the top of the abdomen, to the diaphragm, to the heart area. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Turn the fronts of the thigh, turn the palms all the way out. So you turn the fronts of the legs inwards. You turn the arms outwards. So that the crease of the elbow is looking out to the sides of the room. Stretch your arms out nice and wide. Bend your elbows in towards your chest and then step or jump the feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out. Just face the front. Just feel that this heel of the front foot is in line with the instep or the toes of the back foot, never the heel. Have a quick look, make sure that that's indeed the case. Turn the front leg from the big toe side to the little toe side. Do the same with the back leg, but maintaining the priority with that front leg. And then keeping that back leg dead straight, tightened at the kneecap. Reach down and find the shin. Draw the abdomen up to the ceiling. Reach to the ceiling with the top arm. Look up. Breathe in and out through the nose. Turn the chest and the abdomen up to face the ceiling. Keep that back leg really firm, keeping that back leg kneecap tightened. And then reach up with the top hand, come back to the centre, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, left leg and foot all the way out. And again, turn the fronts of the thighs outwards. And then reach down and over, turning the chest up to face the ceiling. I really want you to concentrate on that back leg. So we're turning the front leg from the big toe side to the little toe side, but we also need to keep that back leg dead straight, pressing the kneecap firmly into the socket, pressing the outer edge of the foot into the floor, turning that back leg out in the same direction as the back leg, from the big toe side to the little toe side. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together. And then come back into Tadasana. Just feel how you have opened up your energy. Listen to the breath. Okay, we're going to do trikonasana again, but I want you to use a wall. I don't really have a particularly useful wall in this route, really. So I'm going to just fold over the end of my mat, and then this is going to be my wall. But if you can use a wall, it'll be better, it'll be firmer, but this will kind of do for me. So I want you to stand with that back heel right into the wall, or you can just use the mat like I'm using here. But I want you to, it needs to be quite firm, so ideally bring that left foot into the wall, and then step the right leg all the way out. So this is pretty firm. It does actually work pretty well for what we want. So have that outer edge of the foot really firmly pressing into something. So if you won't get the feeling if you're just like in the middle of the room. So get that heel to really press into something. Turn the right leg and foot all the way out, and then turn the back foot in. Just turn the toes in a little, so it's the heel that's stamping into the wall. So that stamping action is the important action here. So just have your hands on your hips, turn the legs, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards, turn the fronts of the thighs outwards, and then just come halfway. Keep your left hand on your hip, reach out. As you start coming down, kick really hard into that wall, and you'll feel that you can really extend into the spine. Reach down and find the shin. You might not go down as low, but that doesn't really matter. It means that you're really working that leg really firmly. Push that heel into the wall, and then lengthen really deeply into the spine. You'll feel greater extension into the spine. So don't go down so low, but draw the abdomen up to the ceiling. Reach up. Keep that back leg really kicking into the wall, like you want to kick through it. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Keep that back leg hitting into the heel, hitting into the wall, into the block. And then come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together. Just come back into Tadasana for a moment. So did that feel any different? Did that pose feel any more extended in the spine? So give me a thumbs up, sideways, down, if you felt the difference. Okay, so I'm just going to put the, so this did actually work pretty well actually. So you've got to really just fold it, kind of give it a little bit of, a little overlap, and then that worked pretty well. So have that left foot, that right foot pressing into the mat, into the wall, and then go out nice and wide. Turn the toes in of that right foot a little bit, and then turn the left leg and foot all the way out, making sure that that heel lines up with the instep. So again, press that foot really hard into the wall, tighten the kneecap, and then turn this front leg from the inside out. Stretch all the way out, keep the right hand on the hip. So as you start to come over, you start to feel how pushing into the wall gives you that extension into the spine. Reach down, so maybe you don't go down as low, but that doesn't matter. Everyone wants to get hold of the ankle, but it's really about activation. Press that back leg into the floor, turn the abdomen up to face the ceiling, reach up, look up. Just observe how the pose clears out the sinuses. Keep that back leg really firmly pushing into the wall like you want to push through it. Okay, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together, come back into Tadasana. And observe your energy, observe the energy of the spine. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So I want you to just stay by the wall, and we're going to do virabhadrasana 2, the warrior pose. So have that left foot pressing into the wall and a step wide, a little wider than you did for trikonasana. And then turn the right toes all the way out, making sure that that foot aligns correctly, that heel aligns with the instep, and then push that back heel really firmly into the wall. Keep this kneecap tightened and then bend the knee. Now this is where that heel becomes lighter, so push consciously into that heel. Bend the knee, find a right angle. You should be able to put your dinner plate on the thigh and everything should stay on the plate. Push the outer edge of the heel into the floor. Bend that front knee and then stretch your arms out. Keep the back heel pressing really consciously into the wall. Press that back leg. Keep the kneecap tightened with that back leg. Push it into the wall. Lift the trunk evenly. And then come back to the center, straighten the legs, and then step or jump the feet back together. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then I'm just going to do this way round rather than turning it. Have the right foot against the wall. Go wide with the left leg. And then turn the left leg all the way out. Push that right heel really firmly into the wall. Keep that kneecap tight and stretch out the arms. And then as you bend that knee, keep pressing consciously into that back heel. It will want to become light on the wall, but push really consciously back into that back leg, into the heel. Keep pushing into that heel, bending the knee, finding a right angle. Okay, straighten the leg, bring the feet, step or jump the feet back together. Just observe how you have opened up the energy of the legs. Just breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. And then bring the feet hip width apart, turn the toes in. If you've got a bad back and you don't want to go all the way down, then come into half uttanasana with your hands on the top of a table or back of a chair. Otherwise, feet hip width apart, turn the toes in, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows above your head, and then hinge at the hips. Hinge at the hips, and then hang down. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just let the top of the body hang down. But keep the legs firmly activated, keeping the thighs lifting all the way up into the hip socket. Keep the kneecaps tightened. Okay, release your hands down to the floor. Bend your knees all the way up if you need to. Bring your hands into your hips, come up into a standing position. Just come back into Tadasana. Just observe how your energy has changed. Listen to the sound of the breath. Okay, come down onto your knees, and then I want you to use a bolster, and we're going to go into supta baddha. So you can put your bolster, you can have your bolster flat like this, and then you'll need a blanket for your head. Or what you can do is put a little ramp into the bolster. So have one block on its flat end, one on its tall end, and then you bring the bolster onto there. You might still need the bolster for the blanket for your head. So you can have it on this little ramp. It's very nice to have it on the ramp, or you can just have it on the flat. And then just sit close into the bolster. If the bolster is on the flat, you might not want to sit too close. You might want an inch or two between the lower back and the bolster, because it can pinch. If you've got a really firm bolster, especially, it can pinch. My bolster kind of flattens at one end, so it's usually all right. So come down onto your hands, and then before you bring the body down, lift the abdomen, lift the chest, lift the heart area, and then guide yourself down onto the bolster. Have the folded blanket underneath your head and underneath the back of your neck. And then feel the broadness of your chest. So the bolster really gives you opening of the front of the body. The bolster just opens up the abdominal region, broadens it out, broadens out the diaphragm region, broadens out the collarbone region. So that broadening is deeply energizing. If there's discomfort in your hips, you can put some blocks on the outsides of your thighs. So either on the ramp or just on the flat, lean back into the pose. And just for a moment or two, just rest into it. Just feel how the front chest savours the opening action of the chest. Feel your lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. Feel your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Now, if you've got any reason why you shouldn't hold your breath, I want you to stay in just this mode, just breathing from the bottom of the lungs to the top and exhaling from the top of the lungs to the bottom. And then I want you to draw the energy of the pose from the perineum, from the base of the spine, all the way up to the collarbone, and then from the collarbone down to the perineum. So everyone can do this part. So it's an apanic breath. You breathe from the base of the perineum up to the top of the collarbone, and from the out breath from the top of the collarbone down towards the perineum. So if there's any reason why you shouldn't hold your breath, you can do this stage, but don't do the first stage, don't do the next stage of Viloma pranayama, which we're going to do. Just breathe from the base of the spine, the perineum, up to the collarbone, and from the collarbone down towards the perineum with the out breath. So if there's no reason why you shouldn't hold your breath, then in a moment we're going to interrupt the in-breath, Viloma pranayama stage 1. So it's like you're walking up a ladder with the breath, walking down the ladder with the out breath. But with the in-breath, we're going to walk up a single rung and then just suspend the breath for a moment. Just a gentle suspension, no gripping in the diaphragm, no gripping around the chest, just a moment where the breath stops. You stop for a second or two, no longer, and then you breathe in a little more, walking up to the next step. Then you stop. And after that retention, you walk up to the next step and then stop. And then you continue in that way until the lungs are full. And then a normal exhalation. Okay, so whenever you're ready, just normal breaths. Normal in breath. And normal out breath. Another normal in breath. And a normal out breath from the top of the collarbone to the perineum, and then we'll interrupt the in-breath. Just remember that those retentions are just suspensions of the breath, never a grip.
exhalation from the collarbone to the chest. So there should be never any time when there is tension in the breath. Don't overhold. You can take normal breaths in between a cycle of Viloma 1 and then go back to another round. Always starting with an out breath. Never any tension, never any grip, just a moment where the body neither breathes in nor breathes out, just suspending the breath. Just one more round. End with an out breath, and then just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm, no longer interrupting the in breath. Relaxing into the out breath. Just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. So Viloma pranayama is really deeply energizing, but it's really quietening at the same time. But you should always work without any tension. You feel that you have recovered, then push your elbows or your hands into the floor, push the chest up, try not to poke forwards with the head, and then come into baddha konasana, holding onto the big toes, lifting up into the chest. Just take some deep inhalations, deep exhalations. And then just bring the legs into either swastikasana or half padmasana. Hold onto your knees and then turn to the right side. And then come back to the centre. And then turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs across and your shoulders across. And then gently come back to the centre. Just remove the bolster from behind you, bring that forward so it's going to be underneath your knees. Have the folded blanket underneath your head, and then just have the bolster underneath your knees and guide yourself down into the floor. Before you totally relax, bend your knees, stretch your legs up to the ceiling, just a little gentle inversion. You can put the bolster underneath, but we're just running slightly short of time, so just directly on the floor will be fine. Sometimes we do this with the bolster underneath the lower back, but for today, just legs in the air with the sacrum down. breathing normally, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Okay, bend your knees, bring your legs along the mat with the bolster underneath your legs. Just come up onto your elbows, make sure that you're in a good straight line. If you need to just cover your legs, then you do. And then guide yourself down onto the floor. Just feel that you maintain that line as you release into the floor. And then let the muscles of the arms and the legs unhook. Allow the limbs to become heavy. Feel that the body relies solely upon the floor. Just let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. And let the body become heavy on the ground. As you release the muscles, perhaps you observe the sensation of your energy radiating from the bones. An energetic lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscles, like the bones are beacons of light illuminating into the muscles, illuminating into the muscles and into the organs. Just radiating positive, energetic lightness into the organs, into the flesh and the skin, into the muscles and the organs, and the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of lightness evenly down into the toes, into the fingertips, up into the top of the head. Gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have your feet apart and your knees together, just resting into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs. And then bring your hands into Namaste. Draw your breath in through your nose, down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the pranayama and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. Draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bringing the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. And focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy and given yourself a good positive energy to put into your day. Thank you very much for